Okay, how do I share data across frames without having to reload the data? So this is a good question, and it can be a little bit confusing in the Tecplot 360 user interface. So let me again bring up Tecplot 360, and I'll open a recent layout. So here I have two different data sets. I've loaded the vortex shedding, and this is the Onera M6 wing, which is included in the Tecplot 360 installation. So let's say I want another frame of each of these, but I don't want to reload the data. The problem with reloading the data is then we have a copy, we have multiple copies of that data set instead of sharing the data. So if I were to load this again, I would have, I'd increase the RAM required to house all the data. Furthermore, if in one of these I've calculated new variables, extracted slices, reloading the data forces me to redo that work. Whereas just sharing will retain an exact copy of this data with very little increase in RAM. So to make things a little bit easier to follow, let's rename a couple of these frames. So I'll go to Edit Active Frame, and I'll say Onera wing, and on this one, I'll change this to vortex. Okay, so a couple of ways to do this. One is I can just edit, copy, edit, paste, and now I have another exact copy of this data set. So that's a really easy way to do it. You save all the style, but there's another way to do this as well. I can create a new frame, and I can just flip the plot type. So the question is, which data set is this going to inherit? And it's going to inherit the frame that is at the highest entry in the frame order here. So this is going to inherit the Onera wing when I flip to 3D. Now let me create one more frame. And now I want this to inherit vortex shedding. So I'll just say, bring this to front, and then I'll click on this empty frame. And this one that has no data in it will inherit the data that's in the topmost frame, or at least it should. So let's go to 2D, and then we can bring this to front and see that it inherited the vortex, because the vortex was the highest order in that frame order with data. So again, if you want to share data between two frames, it's either select a frame and do copy paste, or you can create a new frame and just change the plot type, making sure to know which is the highest frame in the frame order.